Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Game 4 of DK versus LGD China, two of the biggest names in Chinese Dota, duking it out here today for the Dota 2 Super League Semifinal #1. Winner of this will be guaranteed a top 2 finish for the event. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit. I'm joined here today by Marlini, and DK currently leads the set 2-1. Marlisi, how you doing?
Pretty good. They were off to a rather shaky start, dropping the first game, but looking very strong in the most recent two.
Yeah, they're looking good. The key there was the burning anti-mage. They gave it away, and they didn't have a plan for it, and that's really where the problem came in.
Right. I mean, they had some sort of disables and global silence, but he just got his Manta too fast. If you get your Manta Battle Fury in 20 minutes, what can you do?
It's very tough. Well, with that being said, guys, the draft is underway, so we'll hop into it. We'll see what these teams have up their sleeve. And the first thing that interests me is that DK, on the back of that anti-mage, they took game number 3, but in this game, they actually banned it out. And I believe it was LGD China with the second pick. So DK just wanted to first pick a Visage and not give away an anti-mage.
I mean,
I believe that's right.
They gave up Batrider, though. So it was Visage first pick, then Batrider, Dragon Knight, and they picked Spectre.
Yeah, so they went Spectre here. They also banned Darkseer, which is kind of that favorite off-lane combo hero that the Chinese teams prefer when they get a Spectre, but they banned it out. Visage Spectre, you get that really strong tri-lane hero. It helps mitigate Spectre's weakness in the laning stage. But LGD have Batrider, and LGD have Dragon Knight, and DK don't have a great hero to just shut down the Dragon Knight, at least not yet. Slark gets banned out, and I imagine for LGD, they want to try and limit DK's ability to just control the Dragon Knight in the early to mid game.
I feel like a SD would work very well for DK this game too. They have like some sort of a few long disables with Lasso and Dragon Tail. Works very well defensively and offensively if you want to make a lot of Spectre illusions to do maximum damage with the Haunt. I also think that Slark is a fairly smart ban by LGD. That Dark Pack proving to be a lot of trouble versus even the most formidable of Batrider players.
Yeah, let's see what they go for. DK bans out the Weaver. He's been on the rise as of late in the Asian scene. Goes well with the Dragon Knight, just gives you 2 very hard to kill cores, and then you already have a Batrider. Finding kills is going to be very difficult, and they don't have many real stuns right now. Familiar stun's great, but you need a setup for those in most cases. So, what do DK actually go for? They're going to have one more ban. LGD also banned out the ROTK Clockwork. Interesting because he's been feeding a lot, let's be honest about it. But, I mean, he hit a few big hooks, and even though he died, his deaths and his play did stall the game. And when it counted in that big team fight at the Tier 2 bottom, he did deliver.
Right. LGD has actually banned like Gyrocopter Alchemist. I think they've just straight up banned those 2 heroes every single time thus far. Well, actually, I think they used Alchemist one game, but Gyrocopter, just very, very common ban for them. I feel like they would be like aptly prepared to deal with one.
Yeah. We're still waiting on DK's 4th ban. DK, they've got the makings of their tri-lane. They don't have any solos, and that's all that LGD is banning.
No disables either.
The Clockwork. Yeah, no setup stuns. They'll have the Visage Familiar follow-up, but they need that initiator. Shadow Demon Rubik are available. I imagine the Shadow Demon will be on the agenda for them if they let it through.
Too.
They banned an LGD Morphlane. We saw IG Zhou go to this yesterday, and, well, maybe they were worried that LGD would go to it. Tyler does play a mean Morphlane, but it's not something I've seen them run very frequently as of late.
Yeah, interesting draft phase to say the least thus far. Nyx Assassin will be the support of choice for LGD. Still very many supports left in the pool. Most notably Shadow Demon and Rubik, I'd say, are the top tier supports left in the pool. Although we could always see a surprise Keeper Light. Again, I'm very surprised that I haven't seen this hero thus far in the tournament.
I guess this might not be the best.
And where's
game.
Lifestealer too?
Yeah, no, where's the Lifestealer? Maybe DK think about going for one here. A Nyx Assassin support cannot zone a Lifestealer out of the lane, so
it would make their lanes a little bit wonky though, because
I think you could run it like LGDN. You put the Lifestealer off lane, or even mid. He'll do well against Dragon Knight there.
That's true.
And then if he's off lane, what is Nyx going to do to harass that? He can't. Maybe it's where LGD China would try and run an aggressive tri-lane, but I think if it was an off lane, if it was a defensive tri-lane from LGD, the Lifestealer would actually do well mid or off lane.
So LGD could actually go for a sort of push threat. Now, we haven't actually seen Chen or Enchantress used by any of these Asian teams in the past day, and I'm surprised that I mean, I guess it's a little bit more of a riskier strategy, having Chen and Enchantress heroes that don't do very much late game at all, but I feel like they could punish greedy picks, such as Spectre, such as Anti-Mage, if they could take out all the T1s and just kind of snowball off that early gold lead. Leshrac does decently versus towers with the Diabolic Edict, and combos very well with Nyx Assassin, so already a very potent dual stun combination from LGD Gaming.
Yeah, what's that third hero going to be for them? Are they looking at a safe lane Batrider?
I feel like they could use a Lifestealer.
Yeah, if they get a Lifestealer here, they would have a great offensive lineup. They have the vehicle to initiate because he can infest inside the Batrider, or even the Nyx Assassin potentially. DK go Magnus. They want a turtle. They want to stall this game out as much as possible. They see a Dragonite and they say, our Magnus can do well mid, 1v1. Both heroes need to bottle Crow. Nobody has fantastic harass compared to the other. So I kind of like this pick, but against Batrider and Nyx, it can be hard to find a great RP.
And Dragonite, he can just like man mode in your face with BKB, and you're kind of forced to do something at that point with Magnus. Again, Magnus has fallen off a little bit, but I think we saw him once today, and he was played exceptionally well.
Yep, LGD looking at their last set of bans here. They've got one remaining. As for DK, one as well. And DK, they've got their supports. They need that ROTK hero.
Oh, Lifestealer banned out by LGD.
I wonder what DK is thinking about for their offlaner here. Maybe they would have considered an ROTK Lifestealer. Like I mentioned, I don't think support Nyx is really the best hero to zone him out, but there's always ROTK Prophet.
Shadow Fiend banned out.
Huh.
Again, very unusual bans by DK. I don't think that they really run the risk of LGD picking. Wow, Necrolite.
One of the best counters to
He's
tanky
very good
carries.
for Spectre, actually.
Yeah, that ult does a lot of work. And if you kill him, there's no buyback. With the Aghanim Scepter upgrade.
If you have the Scepter.
If it comes to that,
people were like, "Oh my gosh, that's so imbalanced." But have we even seen a Necrolite in competitive recently?
The thing is, like, there's very few situations where it makes sense to get an egg, because you could just get a Scythe of Vice, a Pipe, a Mech, a Bloodstone. I mean, whatever you want. Most items, Shivas, all these items are generally better, but who knows? Maybe we'll see an eggs Necrolite. I'm hoping.
I'm also curious to see what they're going to do for their laning. If they're going to do Batrider off with a Necrolite solo mid with a triple stun safe lane, or whether they want to do a Dragonite farming middle and babysit the Necrolite. Necrolite is slightly weak early game. He really needs his level 7 early to get that maximum death pulse. The cooldown reduction is very, very crucial for him to survive in lane. But again, he works very well versus Spectre, especially if you go a tanky build. That Heartstopper does incredible amounts of damage. And it's HP removal, not damage, so I don't think that Dispersion procs off of that.
Yeah, we'll see the final pick for DK now. They need an offlaner or a solo mid. I imagine it's going to be a super Magnus. It could be ROTKs, but offlane Mag is super greedy, and LGD have a lot of ways to punish that. I feel this is a game where the Magnus has to get a fast blink because there's so much riding on him to stop these pushes. When you go Necrolite, your push gets a lot stronger, and they will go ROTK Prophet. I did mention this, and then you were talking more about the Necrolite picking because it came out and we're just like, whoa, Necrolite. But RTK Prophet, boom or bust. He sometimes overextends and feeds, but sometimes he plays a masterful Prophet and stalls the game perfectly, buys time for Burning to get fat.
And they have like somewhat of a global strategy with Nature's Prophet Spectre. That mobility will be great for them if they manage to survive into the late game. But I think that LGD has way better laning at this moment. Batrider, one of the strongest 1v1ers in the game. They have triple stun if they opt to go for that, although Necrolite is their weak point in the early game. I mean, DK has Spectre, they have Magnus, and they have a Nature's Prophet. All those are notoriously weak in the lane.
And it looks like LGD are going to look to get a bit greedy here. Shao-8 on the Batrider. It's going to be a jungle bat, I think. For the time being, he's headed towards his own jungle. We'll see if they just want to defend that jungle or whatnot. But for the time being, it's 2-1. Team DK, they dropped game 1, but then they bounced back on the back of a team effort in game number 2 and a burning tour de force anti-mage performance, a signature one at that. It's been banned out in this game by DK themselves. They're going to try and win this game a different way. If they win this game, DK will move on into the grand finals of the Dota 2 Super League, and LGD will drop to the 3rd, 4th place decider match. It's a best of 5. LGD China on the Dire side. We'll have DD handling the Leshrac Sylar, playing the Necrolite. We haven't seen this one in a very long time. Shao-8 handling the Batrider. Looks like he'll start in the jungle. Yao On the solo mid, DK. How appropriate it's a DK versus DK showdown. DDC, last but not least, the Nyx Assassin. He'll be playing support, and I imagine LGD just going to abandon that bottom lane.
So on the side of Radiant, we have Team DK. ROTK on the Nature's Prophet, usually playing that offlaner. Probably going to start off in the jungle, judging by his build. We have QQQ on the Visage, Super on the solo mid Magnus, Burning on the Carry Spectre, and MMY on the Rubik.
A lot of chit-chat for the time being, but we'll see Die, or MMY, as the Rubik rotate towards the side shop and look to place a pretty aggressive Observer Ward here. They would spot the Batrider if he came into the lane, but he's starting in the jungle, so it will guarantee burning, free farm, and I imagine we're not going to see too many missed last hits. He has an abandoned lane, he'll probably get an early Quelling Blade, and he starts with a double damage rune. I think he'll do a lot better than what Sylar did.
Yep, and again, Spectre not going Quelling Blade, that hurt them quite a bit last game, but it looks like, I'm trying to see if any of the spawns are blocked. Nope, it looks like it's just going to be free reign for the supports in this early game. Let's see, checking out the mid. I think that Super will probably have a better time than Yao in middle. He can just spam the Shockwave, much more spammable spell than Breath of Fire.
Yeah, somebody in the stream chat, tell me the command to turn off the Dota TV chat, because I can't remember right now, and I will get it turned off. Oh, is there a button now? Oh, there didn't used to be. I'm old school, guys. I've had Dota 2 for a while. I used to have to do that via the console. Thank you, Kawa. But, well, Merlini, we're back to the lanes, and Super 6-0 on the Magnus, really bullying Yao this early on. He is, I mean, he's just posting up to the tier 1.
I like the Necrolite in the safe lane, though. I'm glad that they didn't do it solo mid. He doesn't really make too good use of runes. He's not that great with bottle because he already has a lot of natural passive regeneration with Sadist, and I feel like other heroes are much better suited to that Bottle Crow and rune usage in the middle lane. Necrolite is very farm intensive, though. I definitely do not like seeing him on the support role.
Yeah, we haven't really, the Chinese teams have never run him as a support. The one thing they sometimes do is they'll leave him in a 1v1 against heroes like a Darkseer, and he does alright in those matchups, especially if you get the last hits, if you're last hitting well, because with the new Sadist you get so much mana regen early on and HP regen that you can actually stay in the lane pretty nicely. But end of the day, he's left to free farm. So Sylar 12-3, Burning 15-2.
Wow, they're going to push his tower down really fast. Sylar already has his Ring of Basilius, and DD is level 2 with an Edict. They Death Pulse a wave. Looks like they want to get this tower down very, very fast.
Yeah, LGD are going to look to push a tower, or both teams are going to look to push a tower. DK pushing the bottom lane. They've got an army of Treants here, pulling the creep wave back. Nice micro by ROTK, ensuring that they can bring the tower down without any creep interference from LGD. Who's going to get the first tower? Radiant Glyph comes out. Dire not bothering to use theirs, and the tier 1 bottom goes to QQQ. Burning, already up to 700 gold. It's great. It's just hilarious to see a Spectre pick and then a push strategy off the back of that. But hey, if you run a jungle bat, if you get greedy, DK say, we'll punish that. We'll push your towers.
Yeah, plenty of heroes with a lot of CS at the moment. Necrolite with 18, Spectre and Batrider both with 17, and the tower actually does not go to any of LGD's heroes.
This seems like it's favoring DK because they have the Prophet with the extra Treants, and they had the early Ring of Basilius as well. I guess that equalizes because Sylar had one too, but they also just had 4 heroes in the lane, so they bring the tower down first. I guess the question is, do they stop here? It seems like they wanted to go for 2, but realize they don't quite have enough momentum to do it.
Yeah, Xiaowei is forced to rotate out of the jungle, and I mean, he picks up a lot of XP though. He's level 5, 3 minutes in.
Yeah, it's good farm for Super as well. He's hitting level 5, and Yao's trading pretty evenly in terms of experience. Last hitting is equal in the mid lane. I guess the key thing is LGD have a Dragon Knight mid, and he could actually push the towers down very early on. The mid tower could be taking a lot of damage, and Sylar can continue to farm this top lane. It's not an anti-mage, though. It's a much easier hero to gank. Maybe DK can punish Sylar posting up in this lane, and I imagine that'll be where the supports look to pull the wave back. Looks like DD's doing that now.
I feel that LGD can push a lot faster just because their carries are better suited at pushing. Necrolite can heal up the creep wave with his near unlimited mana pool if you get a lot of last hits, and Dragon Knight, he can spam out the wave very, very fast with Breathe Fire and take down towers with that Poison Breath on the Elder Dragon form. Meanwhile, Spectre, he's just forced to farm him. He doesn't really contribute anything to tower pushes. I'm also curious to see what build he's going to go. Looks like Burning has already picked up his phase boost, but is he going to just farm for another 15 minutes and get a Radiance? Is he going to get Drums and Yasha and try and fight early? I'm curious to see what DK's game plan is in the 10 to 20 minute phase of the game.
Yeah, will he be able to get away with a Radiance this game? That's the question. When you're up against a Necrolite and a Dragon Knight, a Leshrac as well, one of the better pushing supports, you go for that, and the game may end before you actually come online. But we'll see what happens. He has not picked anything up yet. Super, haste rune bottled up, has access to RP very soon. Yao just hits level 6, slightly ahead in the level department. But that's because Super has been getting the runes. And, well, we'll see Dai back to pulling, Burning continuing to farm. A very passive game, even in terms of gold, a 500 gold lead for the Dire, and that's mostly due to the jungle Bat Rider. Experience, a bit of an edge there. It's not overwhelming, but the key thing is going to be Xiao 8 getting a fast blink. He has not suicided to the neutrals this game.
Yeah, I think that really depends. That is going to be really instrumental in how DK plans this out. Whether Furion wants to rush a mech. Oh, actually, he is rushing a mech. Not going a greedy build. Not going for the early Midas.
I like the mech pickup a lot because LGD have a very strong 5-man, and they also push really hard. So I don't think you can just stall the game by split pushing effectively enough. I think you'll just lose racks before you can. But if you get a mech, you can maybe take a fight here or there, and you turn one around with RP and mech, and all of a sudden, then you go back to farming, you can take it later on. So I think it is a game where mech makes more sense.
Going back to the CS charts, it looks like Necrolite and Burning on Spectre are very, very close in CS. 39-9 for the Necrolite, 36-9 for the Spectre. So no big discrepancy like we saw last game in the safe lane carries.
Yeah, no big discrepancy there, and we just see that Bat Rider is a better jungler than Prophet. He's already level 6 for Xiao 8. Granted, the Prophet did push, but you can just clear big camps, multiple stacks, really easy with Firefly and Napalm. That's just not something you could do with Prophet, and that's for Xiao 8. He's going to get close to his Blink Dagger after farming this stack. Unfortunately, he got the GG Mud Golems. Fucking Mud Golems.
Fucking Mud Golems.
I love that video. Shout out to Jim and Nathan. They make some really entertaining Dota videos. But it's so passive. It feels pretty even to me. I don't think it comes down to the laning stage. It comes down to Xiao 8. What does he do with the Blink Dagger? And can LGD get a lot of early towers? They've taken the one top, but they need a lot more than this.
Looks like they're aiming for the Magnus. They have 2 of their stunners already smoked out. I'm surprised that Xiao 8 did not join them, but looks like he just wants to farm his Blink Dagger.
Smoke up on LGD. They're going to rotate towards the bottom rune. DDC level 4, as you mentioned, but not actually going in. They rotate back towards mid, but Dai is parked here. They want to secure Super's farm. They want to make sure he gets the Blink Dagger out early, and they also want to defend their tier 1 mid. Burning left on an island. Both teams have observer wards in the middle lane near the runes, and, well, this smoke gank's about to wear off. Some wasted time here from LGD. They do place an observer of their own. I believe this was spotted by DK. It was. Sentry ward? Oh, maybe not. I thought QQQ saw this, but not placing a sentry just yet.
Over under on first blood, LD.
Xiao 8's gonna have a blink soon. If I would say under 10 minutes, because I think, well, under 11 minutes. Xiao 8 would have his blink by 10, and I think he'll go for a kill right then.
Regardless, it is turning out to be a very passive game from both teams, but look at Cycler's position. He's so aggressive right now. We're like running up right horizontal to the T2 tower. I mean, he doesn't even have that much HP. He has 872 with strength trends, only level 7, but they're trying to put a lot of pressure on these towers, forcing out... Oh, I heard a glyph somewhere. Oh, no. Yeah. Actually, it was just an attack. But I think they have very, very strong push potential. He is level 7. He has level 4 Death Pulse, level 2 Sadist, and they have level 2 Edict on the left right.
Oh, it's a race to the bottom rune, and there comes your haunt. RP on Yao. He just wanted a rune. He gets skewered back away from Dai. They have the burst damage.
What is this next level positioning from MMY right there? Wow. What?
I'm actually not sure what cleared off the trees there. Maybe it was a Nature's Prophet, Nature's Call earlier, but yeah, he was up the cliff. I thought Yao was or Super was just going to skewer him up the cliff, but that would have brought him away from the other 2 heroes. And in the end, first blood, I was wrong. I said 11 minutes, but that was clearly a little bit too optimistic. Xiao 8's getting close to his Blake, though, and I think that's where LGD will start to find their footing in this game.
Yep, just 350 gold away, and it looks like he will find one more stack. I think this will be it.
Yeah, and Burning, going drum, so he's not... There's your answer, Merlini. He's not rushing a Radiance. He'll be going for a more early to mid-game oriented build, and you combine this with a mech, which is coming soon for RTK. Well, I think he's going mech. Maybe it's just a casual headdress. He's up to 1,300 gold. Is he thinking about a Midas here?
I mean, if you go to Hedras, you might as well just get the Mega. I don't really see a point in getting the Hedras just because you don't need the sustained regeneration as a Nature's Prophet. You can just always TP back to base, and you're not tanking that much anyways because you have the trees. But that is drums completed on the Spectre. I feel like a lot of action is going to happen very, very soon, especially with this Blink Dagger pickup in just 20 gold. It looks like he's going to sell both his branches. He picks up a smoke, and he is ready to gank. TPing top. Looks like they want to kill ROTK.
Let's rock and roll. And RTK says, I'm scared. He goes to the jungle. Super, 1,400 gold, getting close to a Blink Dagger of his own. For me, the biggest objective for DK is not to lose towers. And so far, they've only lost the tier 1 top. But now with a Blink Dagger Bat Rider, as you mentioned, smoked up, if Xiao 8 finds a kill here top, that will be a tier 2. And then that's where things could start to unravel for DK.
It's a Midas. I checked his stash.
I guess it's one of those things where he thought LGD were going to force a lot more fights early, and then he saw they were playing passively, so he says, okay, if you're going to be greedy and defensive, I'll be greedy and defensive too. But in fact, LGD weren't. They were just waiting for the Xiao 8 blink. It comes now. The smoke does wear off. It was maybe a little bit premature.
I don't think he knows he has a blink.
Firefly, blink, lasso, poor ROTK. He's so close to his Midas, but he won't get it in the end. The tower now taking edict damage. Glyph forced out, and a 4-man roaming unit of DK are going in. Maybe not. Super, if he had a blink, that would have been a sensational RP. He easily had 4 there. But even if you RP this team, there's a mech on Sylar, and they're tanky. I don't know if blink RP is enough.
And here we see, I think that the Furion could have used his trees. There were like a lot of heroes missing on the map, and we saw how vigilant Yao was when he played Nature's Prophet, always sending out his Force of Nature to scout, and they might lose his tower just because Nature's Prophet got picked off there.
He's got his ult, but Firefly from Xiao 8 is going to usher them backwards. The tower goes to DDC. He's got his Arcane Boots to work towards a Blink Dagger. Now they've caught a lone survivor, DD. He'll get picked up. He overextended. Do they continue to haunt and give chase? No reality end. Now a teleport forward in RTK Suicide Bomb special. Teleports into DD. He does have his team coming with him in the end, though. Got a little excited there.
Yep.
I thought they could have gone on him. They had Impale. They had the Necrolite ultimate. And it looked like LGD or DK, the rest of the team was chasing the other direction.
Yeah, I think they expected that ROTK had form backup, though, and not that he's a crazy suicider that we've seen often.
I got so excited. I love RTK. He's a fantastic player, but sometimes you just want those RTK moments.
So nice steal by Rubik. He actually has Diabolic Eat. I think Split Earth and Diabolic Eat are both great spells. Depends on whether you want to push out towers or just have that nifty AoE stun. But ROTK in farming mode, desperately trying to get his minus before the 13-minute mark.
Well, I like the Edict build this game. I mean, you mentioned like both builds have their benefits, but I feel like this game, LGD just want to put the pressure on DK. As much as Necrolite can deal with a Spectre late game, it's still a Spectre late game, and he's got Empower and RP on his side. You are much better off winning when Necrolite just is way more useful, which is probably for the next like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes or so. And
yeah, or just completely controlling their farm by taking out a lot of their towers.
And I think that's where Edict just does way more for you than the Lightning. So I think it's the better build this game, and nice to see him going for it.
I like this build by Sylar too. He went like complete tank build. Magic Stick, Strength Transfer to HP, Cloak for potentially a pipe later, a mech, and a Ring Basilius. He has a nice mix of everything there.
Sylar has a very weird Midas. It's just a recipe. A blink in though, a last one super. He can't get off the RP. He's picked off and blown up. And now, well, LGD, they have to hoof it out of here. They pop the mech. The Death Pulse comes through. They are all up to full HP in a jiffy. This is the power of the Necrolite pick. They can continue to siege. They want to break these outer towers quickly. Burning does have access to Haunt, doesn't have enough for a dagger on top of it, and the tier 1 falls mid, and LGD aren't done. They're going for a tier 2. Double Arcane Boots, I believe, online. At least one, but just so much mana for all these heroes. The Familiars come in, trying to slow things down. Xiao 8, Lasso cooling down for a minute, and it looks like DK will back off, but they got what they came for. They got a kill, they got the tower. The Magnus Blink Dagger was picked up right before that fight, so Super, next time around, could maybe get the jump.
I'm surprised he was caught out of position there. Oftentimes, you want to smoke as soon as you get your blink dagger, like we saw the bat, because if the opponent doesn't know that you have a blink, it's pretty much just a guaranteed kill. And in the case of Magnus, potentially 3 or 4 kills. But looks like they will smoke up after that recent T1 tower death, and looks like they really want to get top tower. Sylar is super tanky though. If his supports are there, like they are right now, it's going to be very dangerous.
Home. He doesn't have mana, but he's about to get it, and his team will wait for him to get it. Now they'll move in. Die leads the way.
Defusal build. No Radiance for him this game, or at least not yet.
Well, his team wants to fight now. Blink Dagger on Super. Actually, the smoke was dispelled.
Look at LGD's position right now. It's just really, really good. Xiao 8 is really ready to lasso in case they try and blink on Sylar. And Sylar, the tankiest hero at the moment for LGD, is by far in front, so they don't get caught by any sort of AoE. And DK knows that this is a bad idea. Even with the Spectre Haunt, I think they need a little bit better positioning for that. And suspecting that all of LGD is just camped behind the Necrolite, it would have been a very, very bad fight for them to take.
There's your hood. Sylar, you mentioned you wanted to see a pipe. I forget if it was game 1 or game 2, or even game 3, but there was one game where you wanted to see a pipe, and this is going to be one of the fastest pipes you'll ever see. After a mech, after power treads, very, very tanky Necrolite, perfect items, just to siege. And DK, through the mid game, are going to be quite reliant on magic damage, so I think it's a great item.
I feel like with this build, he has the potential to run out of mana though. 150 mana for mech, 185 for Death Pulse, that's 335 right there, and then 1 Reaper Scythe. If you don't get a Sadist kill with your Reaper Scythe, you can just run out of mana and your Death Pulse will be useless.
It's where you really want your Leshrac to pick up Arcane Boots as well. But DD, not able to farm them yet. He went for a Bracer and an Urn. Tanking up a bit, they'll smoke. 4 heroes, they head top, then they head bottom. A bit of a tango here for LGD, but they'll settle in the bottom lane. They'll smoke up and they'll rotate there, and unfortunately for them, DK are top, so they won't be able to find an easy kill off of this, but they want to just take this tower bottom. It looks like tier 1 bot for a tier 1 top, unless they teleport. No TPs yet. RTK starts to apply pressure to the tower. He tries to draw a reaction. None forthcoming. They've spotted Burning, though, with a fantastic ward in the mid lane. This could be very, very bad. Burning, blink from Xiao 8. Lasso pulls him back. Now Yao can stun him. The burst will be there. Burning will take a spill. That is a fortuitous gank, to say the least, and all of it set up by an amazing Observer Ward.
Looks like they'll get a free tower because of that, though.
Yeah, and Super gets a tier 1 top.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Or actually RTK. No, go ahead.
But tower count currently looks like 2 to about to be 4. And LGD is coming out ahead on top of the gold charts right now. 3,000 about after this tower goes down for them. And I think that they're in a very good position to just pressure Spectre for the rest of the game so he does not become huge. And I don't think he's going to be able to do enough damage. Where is their damage going to come from? Nature's Prophet going for the early mech. He has Midas. It looks like my graphics bug. Does he have a Midas completed for you? It's on cooldown, but it shows the recipe.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, but it's just some sort of weird graphical glitch. No big deal.
Yeah, but they don't actually have any damage right now. Sure, they have RP, but where is the follow? You have a Spectral Dagger for measly 200 damage, which is easily healed by 1.5 Death Pulse. You have Nature's Prophet ultimate. Again, they have so much heal to go through DK's burst. I feel like even if they get 2 or 3 heroes in RP, it's not going to win them the fight. It's not even going to be close to winning them the fight.
Yeah. Force Staff picked up on the Bat Rider now. He's going for a bigger initiating item. The reach for LGD is incredible. And, well, off of this, it should be easier to find a pickoff. And the thing is, when LGD find a pickoff, they get a tower. Because they have Edict, they have the Dragon form, now level 2, but even at level 1, you still get the Poison Touch onto the tower. Or the Poison Breath, I should say. And now they have Pipe on Sylar. Their 5-man's almost impenetrable. And if you don't find an opening, then they take your towers. Blink, RP, we still haven't seen it. I don't think it actually matters this game. I think LGD can just deathball this. They're going to head straight down mid, clumped up as 5. If they get the pick, it's over. And even if they don't, they're so tanky. It might take something like a Spectre buyback to actually bring them down.
Yeah, and if they get an Aegis on a Necrolite, that is just going to be very, very bad for them. Yao almost has BKB too, so he's going to be extremely difficult to kill.
Familiars looking to scout things out. We could see a stop. It's actually going to clip just on the Leshrac.
Look at Xiaohui's positioning.
Yeah, on the high ground. He'll jump in a moment. Firefly. Nope. Swings on the trees. Okay. Woof. That was really exciting.
It was a good force step, though. I think that Mag almost thought about initiating there, and it would have been really big for him to force step out of that regardless.
See, the thing is that I think that would have been a huge mistake because there's Pipe and Mech. and it's a Bat Rider with a Force Staff. Can you really kill him that quickly? I don't think so.
They need Empower on a Spectre. He needs to be able to power farm right now. He's very close to his Diffusal Blade, but again, it seems like too little too late. This Necrolite pick is just working really well for them just by the way they're playing it. Just pushing down all the towers right now, and just him being in front. If you go on the Necrolite, you're most likely going to die. Look at his items right now, just full tank mode.
Yeah, it's just a surgical dissection so far of the DK defenses. The burning clock is ticking, but it's ticking nice and slow. The sand is only trickling towards the bottom of the hourglass, not rushing in great heaps. And DK, they go towards their next items. Ogre Club up on Super. BKB will be the choice for him. Die maybe works towards a Force Staff, a Blink Dagger here. Burning, I think, finally got his Diffusal. He did. But he needs a lot more than this. He'll need the Vitality Booster, the Manta style. And end of the day, no matter how big he gets, there's still Heartstopper R to worry about. And then, of course, the Reaper's Scythe. No matter how tanky you are, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. That is the beauty of the Necrolite hero, and it could be trouble for Sylar, or rather for Burning, even if he gets to late game, and he's nowhere near it right now.
Were you there when Spectre was like super bugged with his Haunt Illusions? I remember at one point, like his Haunt Illusions
They
did
moved
dispersion
really
too.
Oh,
they used to
oh,
do
you mean in
dispersion.
Dota 1?
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. So they had like dispersion, and it was a percent-based chance as opposed to
a percent. You had a percent-based chance to reflect everything.
Yeah.
So if you get Finger of Death, it could just bounce back and kill the lion instantly. But
talk about imbalance.
Nowadays, you reflect a guaranteed percent of the damage. I liked the old Spectre. It was like the ultimate YOLO roll the dice style. Lumi would love it. Well, I don't know if he's playing Dota back then, but.
LGD looking to control this Roshan pit right now. They have picked up a gem on Xiao Yi and just taking down all of DK's vision. They have a bat though. They have a familiar rather. Just scouting out, seeing what LGD is up to.
LGD hanging out near the Roshan pit. Looks like they want to go for this, but the familiar's doing a nice job of scouting. I do want to come back to what you mentioned earlier, which is ROTK just has not really impressed as much with the Treants, has not been scouting all over the map with them, has not been checking Roshan, has not been checking key access points or just putting them behind creep wave to slow down any potential push. It's something that Yao really impressed us with in game number 1.
He was just so vigilant, and it was just like clockwork how good he was with sending them out. He even spread them out too. It wasn't just like one into the Roche pit. It was like one into the Roche pit, one like behind the tower, one at the ancient spawn, one at the rune. He just spread them out incredibly.
LGD, this is what they love to do. Get ahead, and with that lead, get a gem. And with that, group up as 4 while Sylar farms and look to take down the outer towers, find a pickoff, and then look to break the base. Burning, he's found his way to a casual Vitality booster.
He is ready to fight.
He's at that point where Spectre can start to do work. And especially because he has Empower, he can hit quite a bit harder in these engagements.
With the way the game's been going, though, I'm actually surprised that he didn't take a Radiance, because Diffusal Blade is 3,300, Vitality Booster is 1,100, so that's 4,400 gold. That is your Relic plus half your Radiance recipe right there, and I haven't seen him make use of the Diffusal Blade yet. He still has all 8 charges on it. They haven't taken a fight with it yet, and same with the Magnus Blink Dagger. I haven't seen a Blink RP yet, but again, a very passive game from both teams, but I think LGD is definitely coming out ahead. They are the faster pusher.
Yeah, they're the faster pushing lineup for sure. The Dragon Knight hitting the tower. Edict, of course, brings it down in a hurry. It will be a tier 2 for tier 2 trade, and then DK are going to back off. Actually, they're not going to get it in time. It's not the end of the world, but what could be a problem is if they can get into range for a big RP. Super's got to find the opening. In comes Xiao Yi. He's looking for it. He jumps in. He picks up QQQ, but it gets lifted up by Dai. Now Super jumps in. Dragon Tail to the face. Can't RP. He finds one. It's only on 2. He pile drives them back, but I'm not sure if it's enough. Burning's jumped in. He gets stunned. This Necrolite is still at full HP. Actually, Soul Assumption jams it in, changes the complexion of this fight and maybe the complexion of this game. DDC is low. He'll fall. Sylar, the lone survivor. I can't believe they've done it, but they have. They've turned it around. Sylar going to get picked off. The Metis buyback, not really even. I mean, I guess it was enough in the end, but my goodness, DK defends a lot better than they thought they would. And
MVP for that fight, certainly the Rubik.
That lift.
Yeah, that lift just really set the pace for that fight, because LGD was forced to run up the hill and fight under the tower, and that's just really bad. It makes you clump up for RP, and even though he didn't get an ideal one, he still got a decent one off, and wow, DK with a huge hold right there. I'm actually surprised that LGD didn't take out Roshan beforehand. I feel like they could have just walked in with Necrolite and forced DK to come to them instead of LGD having to initiate with a Bat Rider.
And now things get scary. You win one fight with a Spectre, all of a sudden 1,600 gold on Burning. He's 1 or 2 fights or maybe 5 to 6 minutes away from the next item. And granted, Necrolite is still a pretty great late game here against Spectre, one of the best in the business. But end of the day, he's gone pipe and mech. These are not the best items for just a hard carry Necrolite. They're more of your pushing style Necrolite. They won't scale as well. The Dragon Knight has gone BKB. All these items are perfect for just winning the game and ending it by 30 to 35 minutes, but you lose a fight or two, and you've built items which kind of dead-end you. They don't allow you to farm as quickly. You don't quite have the mana pool on the Necrolite. You don't quite have the damage on the DK. You can't clear stacks as fast, and economically, you can fall behind.
I feel like DK still doesn't have enough map control to...
Oh no, Sylar's been caught. Die wormed his way around from the side, now skewered back. He pops the pipe, the mech. It doesn't matter. He goes down, and that is a very big kill.
Wow.
I mean, that could make all the difference here.
That's ridiculous. Anyway, Xiao 8 is on the left side looking for an initiation, but I think it's a very bad idea with Necrolite down. They invested a lot into this Necrolite early, giving him the safe lane farm, and he went all these tanking items, but he dropped so fast right there.
Yeah, that was a lot of that was the pure damage of Desolate, I believe. He wasn't near creeps, wasn't near his teammates. It really does work. And on top of that, Spectre does, at the end of the day,
I mean, we were talking about how Necrolite counters Spectre, but it looks like Spectre is just owning the Necrolite at this point in the game.
Granted, that was a 5v1 beatdown session, but nonetheless, it shows they have the burst to kill him, and it's not just the fact that Spectre's farming. It's the fact that RTK is about to secure a Scythe of Vice. Now LGD have to group up. They have to start 5-manning, and now DK have enough farm and enough levels where they might just be able to split push and stall this one. If they want to take fights, they can do it. Blink RP, Spectre Haunt, whatever Die steals. He's stolen Death Pulse for the moment. I imagine you'd much rather have a stun of some kind here, but it's not a bad spell.
Another point that we forgot to mention was that Gem was actually lost, so that means that Nyx can't run around and find initiation anymore, and that most of LGD's wards are going to be dewarded. So, again, that push on bottom was just so costly for them.
DK just sitting and farming in their jungle, and RTK Scythe device should be online now. Where do LGD go from here?
I think they need to do Roshan, whether it be by split pushing and forcing DK around the map. Although that is difficult with a Fury on a Spectre. I don't think they can take a 5-on-5 in the Roshan pit right now. We already saw the last fight where they had kind of bad position going up into that T3 tower. And again, if they catch another RP with 3 or 4 people in there, I mean, he only got 2 last time. If he gets 3 or 4, it's just going to be a devastating team fight in favor of DK. Yeah,
that's the thing is, I agree they probably need a Rosh, but I don't think they can take the fight there unless they just have. Granted, they have Bat Rider, so they should have the advantage in positioning. But if they don't end up getting the initiation, could go very poorly.
Right. If they can pick off Magnus right now, that would just be exactly what they needed to. But Super has done a decent job of positioning himself, minus from that T1 engagement on the middle tower.
Smoke up on Xiao 8. He's leading the way. He's looking for a pick here. They clear out the jungle. They then retreat towards the Roshan pit. They head back towards the bottom lane. The smoke is dispelled. It's run out. And Xiao 8 jumps forward. He force stabs forward as well. He spotted out QQQ. Now the flame break back. That's a nice haunt for Bernie. He jumps into the fight rather early at that. In comes the RP. It could have been amazing, but Super got impale stun.
Oh.
He still gets it off.
Man.
My goodness. Slam friggin' dunk to the face. DD on the run. This is not looking good for Sylar either. Just kidding. He's got the ult. Yao comes in. They're going to turn it around. He's lived through it. Sylar survived. Double buyback, but there's no haunt after that buyback. Whew. That was a fight.
That was a fight indeed. Nice haunt by Spectre there. I think that the Dragon Knight was actually over here. I checked the haunt and there were like 4 heroes over here and the Dragon Knight was so far back. I'm surprised that they actually won that fight, but Necrolite staying alive for that long and being able to heal everybody, as well as Reaper Scythe, the Spectre for the kill, was just huge for them.
Yeah. Also, Burning bought back. I don't know if he needed to.
I don't think he needed to. I don't know why he didn't pop a drum charge in that either.
Regardless, he didn't. Yeah, he hasn't used one yet. We're 28 minutes in. He rushed drums, but that's more of a minor quibble. I mean, they had used DK LGD won that fight, but they were all very low after it, and I don't feel like they could have broken the base there. They can't really do Rosh quickly. Dragon Knight and Necrolite just don't have that much damage. They don't have a great Rosh team. I feel like he just should have sat on that death and, you know, they trade. I don't think it was the end of the world, but the buybacks are going to hurt them quite a bit here. And We'll take a look at the gold graph, even in terms of gold earned, but with the buybacks, you'd probably say a bit of an advantage to LGD. Experience-wise, DK ahead, still an even game by all means. And now Roshan, that's what LGD wants, and it looks like they may be able to get it. RP still cooling down. Haunt still cooling down.
Spectre needs survivability right now, but I'm not sure what items he should go. Heart is pretty decent, but again, they have a Necrolite, so the more HP you have, Heartstopper is going to be more and more dangerous, and half your HP is going... I mean, with Heart, half your HP is going to be like... He's just going to get owned by Reaper Scythe later, but he could go BKB, but that's a very unusual item choice for a Spectre. He could go Manta, but they have so much AoE to deal with it that I also don't feel like that's a great choice. So I'm kind of confused as to what the ideal item is for Burning right now.
He chooses Yasha. He will go Manta. You mentioned they have a lot of AoE, and that is true, but in a lot of situations, I mean, the Manta stun, you can dodge maybe a Nyx Impale with it. Obviously, it can create confusion if Batrider wants to lasso you. It could prove useful. It also does accelerate your farm rate. It makes you more mobile in the fights just from the Yasha move speed. It could even just be a casual Yasha. I think as a standalone item, it's still worth the pickup, but we will see where he goes from here. It's hard to say.
And going, like, for that last fight, Super caught 4 people in the RP, although it was a little bit later than I think he would have liked it to. They don't have any follow-up for the RP. Like, what are they going to do? Just dagger or, like, maybe a telekinesis stun? It's a little bit strange that they don't have any awesome follow-up.
I think the other thing was that Burning was running away. He started to run, and then Super came in and RP'd, and then he had to run back. He only got off 1 or 2 hits. If he was just sitting there auto-attacking, if he knew the RP was coming, I think he thought Super would die before it got off.
Yeah, with the cleave, with Empower, I think
then the cleave could have made a big difference.
I also feel like they could use a pipe because most of LGD's lineup is just magic damage. DK does not have that much damage right now. He has Treads, Black King Bar, as well as Shadow Blade, but their right-click damage is near non-existent at this point. I mean, they have Vendetta and Diabolic Edict for some composite damage, but overall, I think that their lineup is very weak when it comes to mix of damage. So I think a pipe would be very good for DK right now. We saw the early mech pickup by the Nature's Prophet, and again, Visage is not going for it. I'm surprised that more Visages aren't going for a pipe. It's just so useful, especially against this sort of lineup.
Yeah, he's just sitting on 1,200 gold. Maybe worried that he'll need to buy back in these fights. But for the time being, DK sitting in their base. I wouldn't say the roles are quite reversed. I think the difference between this game and last game is we saw I think it was 2 games ago, where DK were just completely restricted to their base. LGD were farming all the lanes freely. No, actually, that was the first game that DK won, where Bernie was on the Weaver. The difference is that DK is a profit for RTK, so he can actually keep the lanes pushed out, and it allows Burning to farm a little bit more. It also makes it much harder for LGD to push in. And this is where the profit does become your X factor. Despite RTK not having the biggest impact yet this game, just by split pushing, he's really been a thorn in the side of LGD.
Sylar already has his Chivas completed too, so I think that they're in a very good position to take out this Rex in middle. Let's see how long is left on the Aegis. Looks like around 3 minutes left on that, so this is exactly what they need to do. Spectre is kind of getting there in sort of item in the item department, but I feel like LGD has enough of a lead right now to push up into that T3.
Yeah, it seems like it just has that feeling that Burning's maybe 5 minutes away from really coming into swing. If they win a big fight, I think that's the point where LGD could be in a lot of trouble. But they haven't lost the fight yet. DK hasn't won a big fight, I should say, and LGD continue to farm. It's just hard to get into this base. The Prophet is constantly pushing out the lanes. They are all somewhat on the Radiant side, but if there wasn't a Prophet in this game, I feel like they'd all just pretty much be at the base.
Magnus, I think, has gotten stunned the last 2 times he's tried to blink an RP, and he is tired of that. He already has a BKB, so I think we may see a much nicer and earlier RP than the previous 2 fights.
Yeah, even RTK's now sitting in the base. They are very scared.
Well, he has Scythe of Vice.
Yeah, he's actually had this for quite a while.
Oh, he's
29.
He's huge.
He's got 2,900 gold on top of it. Look at the vision, though. That's what LGD trying to really have going for them. They see like most of this area, and then what DK sees is basically nothing.
They need to take out that T1 tower in mid too. I think that would lend a lot to giving DK much more control over the map.
You'd think RTK would have been able to push it. It's a tier 1 mid. He could even just chip away at it and backdoor it, but I guess he doesn't have a Shadow Blade to run away, and a little bit scared. He'll sit in the jungle and farm. The lanes are starting to push in, and maybe LGD, is there an item they're waiting for? Double BKB, Pipe, Mech, Shadow Blade, Shivas, double Force Staff. At some point, you just got to go. Burning is still farming.
They only have a minute and a half left on this Aegis. I talked about last time they had 3 minutes. They've just been dilly-dallying around for the last minute and a half.
I guess they want to are they waiting for Roche number 3? Are they waiting for their next set of items? Can they take it later?
I feel like the biting game works better in favor of DK, though, just because Burning is almost at that point where he is just going to do incredible amounts of damage. Magnus already has his BKB, and BKB owns most of LGD's heroes.
It's just so hard for LGD to go into DK. We saw what happened in the last fight. The Rubik lift really shuts down Batrider. That and maybe a Disruptor are probably like the 2 best heroes to punish that Batrider initiation. And on top of that, you're going into Magnus. You go up a small choke point, much more likely to get RP.
They have such a small window to make this push. It's like 40 seconds left until Aegis expires.
It's not happening. I mean, if they want to go, they can, but it will be without Aegis almost certainly. There's still a glyph on DK. And the question is who's got buyback. Burning, as well as RTK, both do, and then the Visage for QQQ. They'll now look to break the base. 25 seconds on the Aegis. Sylar should really be face-tanking the tower if they want to force this. Now the level 3 Dragon form is up. That's what they were waiting for. And the push commences. They chip away at this tower. Slowly but surely. Xiao 8, Firefly up, looking for a jump. Remember, the Magnus has BKB now, and Burning has buyback. He'll sit in the front lines. He's maybe just goading LGD into going on him. They have not committed yet. They will lose their Aegis.
Yeah, and that, I mean, if I were them, I would back off right now. If they lose this fight, it's going to be looking really bad.
If they lose this fight, they could very well lose the game, and that's the end of their run in the Dota 2 Super League. Bernie is saying, go on me, I dare you, I double dog dare you. LGD, they want no part of Burning.
If they got a sheep on the Magnus, though, that would, or actually, they don't have a sheep. I thought they had a sheep on their side.
Yeah,
but
well, often with a Necrolite with this much farm, you would usually see a sheep, but he's gone Shiva's pipe mech, pure tank.
They need more damage on the side of DK, though. I guess Manta will help with that, but he has to save his gold for buyback right now. And LGD forced to retreat with that Aegis offline.
There's your heart for Burning. If he wants it, or the Manta and the Diffusal too, where does he go with this? He's now spent a bunch of gold. It's going to be the Manta. He's not bought the Diffusal 2 yet.
I mean, I feel like Super is going to hit a big RP with that BKB, and they really need to burst the heroes down before they can get all their cooldowns.
And there's not, as you've been mentioning, beating the dead horse all game basically, there's just not enough physical damage. It's all magic damage for LGD. If he gets BKB off, they are not bursting him down.
Yep, and it's going to be very, very scary for them. I think Rubik could potentially steal a big spell, too. If he steals, like, a Split Earth or an Impale to follow up that reverse polarity, it could be huge.
Even
DK.
Lasso. Maybe he grabs someone with Lasso and force-staffs them away into the fountain. And if someone gets isolated because of that, then Desolate is going to tear them a new one.
Yeah, Spectre.
We just need a Blink Dagger now on Die if you're a DK fan. That's what you're rooting for. And he's getting close. Also, it's gotten into such a passive rhythm right now that it feels like all we're doing is speculating on item choices, but ROTK has the goal to make a big selection soon. He's up to 5K.
I mean, we talked about the 20,000 gold lead that Chinese teams feel like they need to bust out the T3, but
gold
it is 1,000 in favor of Dire right now. Just 1,000.
And LGD have to know it. They have to sense it. And again, this is where the Prophet pick and the Midas build, sure, he delayed it a bit because he went for the headdress first, but by going back for that Midas, he really shored up their late game. Not simply by farming better on his own, but by getting more levels, he can spam his ult, he can push out the lanes. Currently, he's sitting on the ult, but it's available if they get into a sticky situation. He could just spam it. The push doesn't end, but it really discourages the next level of aggression, and it's allowed them to take this much later.
And with this like sort of passive game that we've been talking about, I'm actually surprised that Burning did not go Radiant still. Again, his Diffusal seems like decent, but I feel like there was enough of a lull in the game where he could be like, okay, we're not going to fight, or even if we do, I can farm my Radiance in the next X minutes. But he might slow down on farm now compared to, let's say, the DK. DK should have his AC very, very shortly, but again,
he's got Empower, so
this is true.
It's like you said, that really helps him flash farm. I don't know how much his farm is really going to be slowed down. He's only 600 gold behind the Necrolite, and I would call that being ahead if you're a Spectre.
Yep. We did see a couple of unnecessary deaths though by the Necrolite.
The thing is, even if
there's a Scepter. There's a Scepter on Necrolite.
Wow. The GG button.
Uh-oh.
You know those big red GG buttons? Like you just press it and it goes GG? Well, That's what he's trying for here.
Yeah, if they kill Burning with that, oh my goodness, that is just that's
well,
gonna be
he's
so
now shown
devastating.
it. He's now shown it, and hopefully DK have read the patch notes and they've read them carefully. Otherwise, this could be trouble.
It's going to be pretty scary. I think that Bernie could make some really big plays, though. If he, like, baited a Manta Illusion to get lassoed and then he, like, RP out of that, oh my god, that would just be huge. So I'm looking for some big plays with the Illusion, whether it be from Illusion Runes or Manta Control. I mean, we saw some very nice Manta Control from the AM last game on Burning. So, again, that is, like, pretty much a really big thing they could do in teamfights that I am looking for.
LGD... their fans have deserted them. They've only got 1,600 in Dota TV. DK's got 2,000 pennant waivers. They clearly have the bigger fan base, at least here. But LGD, despite that, will try to prove the naysayers wrong and force a deciding Game 5. It's the Dota 2 Super League.
There's the smoke.
Our first semifinals. The second one will be tomorrow between Orange and Tong Fu. Burning leads the way. He's got 3K gold. The buyback might not really do much. He's lurking. He's waiting. He tosses in a dagger. And Yao sees some familiars. Double stun in the pit. So they look to go off of this. Super marches in. RP catches two. Now the hunt. This could be trouble. Yao, what was stolen by Dai? It's just the flame breath. It's everybody on the run. Sylar dropping low. Doesn't get off the GGO. He takes a spill. Burning is low, but not dead yet. He mantas and tries to get back into fighting shape. He's on the run. He continues to drop lower and lower, but he does a buyback if he needs it. He'll buy back immediately, but he does buy back without a haunt. Xiao 8 runs. Yao runs, and LGD beat a hasty retreat. Here comes your ROTK Prophet. He's teleported in with no HP. Wow. ROTK, what are you thinking, my friend? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Classic ROTK.
Every game needs its ROTK moment, and this game certainly delivered.
I mean, interesting buybacks by Burning. I think he played a near flawless AM last game, but this game, like, these buybacks are a little bit unnecessary. He can't get back to the fight without Haunt.
Yeah, I felt like he should he have saved Taunt there? I mean, at the same time, you can buy back.
They really wanted to burst Sylar down, and I think that the confusion caused by Haunt was kind of worth it. I actually thought he was going to survive.
I kind of thought he should have used Manta sooner. I think that was
right.
Because I mean, he used it when he was almost dead. His illusions were really low HP and didn't accomplish much.
That's true.
I don't know if he would have gotten the extra Desolate damage, but just having more illusions in the fight, creating chaos and making it harder for LGD to focus you. I don't know. It's hard to say. Oh, we can nitpick all we want, but now LGD say, well, we lost that fight. It looks pretty even in the end, but they are trying to take Roche, and the clock is definitely ticking. Burning's up to 2.5k. Now he'll go for his next item because there's the Scepter, Necrolite, and also he doesn't have buyback available. If he gets it before this next fight, it could be trouble. But LGD, this is going to be their second Roshan. I figured it would be their third at 42 minutes in. It's not. It feels like a very long game, really.
Yes. I mean, why do you need Scepter on Necrolite if you can just force him to buyback without even using Reaper on him? So, again, they have this 4-minute window right now where they have an Aegis. Their T3s are actually pretty low on bottom, 529 out of 1600 HP, and no buyback on Burning. That is the really big thing right now. Or if they could get Magnus before he RPs, or try to nullify his RP, I think they could easily take a Rax out right now, and probably just end the game.
DK, I think the clock is ticking now. Burning, again, very close to that next item. He gets a heart, he gets one more. It could really spell trouble, especially if the Reaper Sight doesn't go on the right hero. And, well, with Haunt and with Manta, it does get hard to track Burning down in these engagements. He'll head into the jungle, his entire team roaming around with him. They are giving him all the farm. What else is new? He's up to 3.4k gold. He could buy the Reaver now. 3.5 minutes until buyback. Maybe he'll wait and see when LGD push and only spend the gold if they really force it soon. But still jungling, still farming. RTK has gone maximum split push. He's picked up a Mjolnir. No BKB for him. There's a lot of stuns in this game. But I guess he wants to just put the buff on Burning. The one problem I have with that is it's like waving a gigantic neon sign. This is the real Burning. This is the one you want to Reaper Scythe. But I suppose outside of that, the Mjolnir could be a nice
This is a very, very scary smoke coming out from LGD. Looks like somebody may get picked off here. They're in a very precarious position, DK is. Oh, look at this illusion bait. Ooh, nope.
There's so much crap flying around the minimap now between Manta illusions, familiars, smoked up LGD heroes. Hard to say. And by the way, Merlini, the chat is still going apeshit about RTK's teleport.
That was ridiculous.
It's been, guys, it's been 5 minutes. You can move on now. But in all fairness, that was pretty ridiculous.
I think that DK has had a pretty good game plan for the team fights, though. They almost always catch Necrolite in the RP, and then now that they have a Scythe of Ice, they just try and focus everything down on Necrolite, because the longer he lives, the more havoc he's going to wreak, the more he's going to heal up, and the worse, like, Heartstopper just causes a lot of damage, so the worse the fight is going to look for you, the longer Necrolite lives. And they've just been doing an excellent job of taking him out as soon as possible, minus the maybe not using Manta enough early enough last time. They've just been bursting him down constantly, even with the super tanky build that Sylar has right now.
Yeah, Sylar is super tanky. And I guess the one issue with his build as well is his item progression kind of halts here. He could sell the mech or the pipe, or I guess if he loses the Aegis, can build another item, but those are all if you're forced to remove one of those important items or you're losing your Aegis, it's probably not going well for you. So I don't know. It's the one downside to not building something bigger like a Scythe of Vice. Just an item that costs more and offers you more bang for your buck.
So it looks like they are trying to push up mid. They have a pretty good window on Aegis.
Can they do this? You're going into Blink RP.
Let's see if Spectre has any items.
Burning is buying something. What is it? It's a heart recipe. He's waiting for the gold for a Reaver. He's 17 gold short. Now he's got it. Dagger's a creep for it. With the tower under siege. The good thing for him is LGD just don't kill towers quickly. There's no Alchemist slap chopping away. It's just a Dragon Knight piddling at it. And it's not even going to take much damage. So he gets the heart safely. No buyback, but I really love the fact he's not saving for it. Because end of the day, if you're dying, it's probably because you got Reaper Scythe, which means you won't be able to buy back.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that in action. It sounded like a big change in patch, and it could be GG right now.
This could be the ultimate base breaking option. Sprout is there. Blink, BKB, it was on an illusion. Shall wait. Oh no, this doesn't look good. Blink, Skewer, RP onto Sylar. He's been caught. Burning has trapped him. He brings him low. He does bring him down. Dispersion is doing work. Remember, there's the Aegis. He's coming back soon. He eats an Impale. He could get Reaper Sight. Actually, it was already used. Excuse me, Sylar. 4 staff away. Whew. That could have cost LGD the game. Blink lasso on an illusion.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus.
Nice Manta used by Burning there. That was huge.
Yeah, Burning. It's just a slippery little sucker until the bitter end.
So looks like they will probably have to wait until the next Aegis. So this gives Spectre another 5.5 minutes to farm, and he did not die there. That was just really important. He picked up his heart right before. It was close to him not having enough gold, but being able to dagger that one creep and holding out was very crucial for him winning that fight.
You know what amazes me? He is the highest farmer in the game, and he didn't go for the farming build. He's got the most... I mean, it shouldn't amaze me because he's burning, but he went phase drums. He got the early Diffusal Blade, the combat build for Spectre. Obviously, it helps a lot having Empower, but still, to keep your farm up like this in a game where LGD have such a good ganking squad, it's impressive. And, well, DK continued to farm. It's RTK. I just wanted to check his inventory, but apparently he's been lassoed. Caught at the Ancients. He'll get picked off. He has buyback.
He had a very nice sheep there right after the Aegis. I actually thought Reaper was up too. I didn't see anyone die to it, but if he had Reapered the Spectre right there, again, it could have been GG, straight on the spot.
I just wanted to check his inventory. That was one of those dumb luck moments as a caster, where you just happen onto RTK getting picked off. He does buy back here, and they'll look to defend
Spectre
the base.
is going to push the T3, though. If they don't make a swift base push, they might be forced to TP back, and then they can haunt in and pick off the stragglers.
There's your pipe popped, and Yao will lead the way. He works on the tower. There is a glyph. It's available. Burning. They're waving that red flag now. There will be no questions about which one is the real Burning. I mean, that's the one big downside to this. I don't know if the Mjolnir is a good idea. I guess he doesn't have buyback anyway in this case, but in other situations, I feel it could cost them.
Yeah, I keep staring at this Hand of Midas recipe. I'm like, what is this recipe for? But
me too.
It is.
And he wants to Midas a creep right now. He's thinking about it. In comes Xiao again. The Firefly in the lead. It's Xiao 8, but he's been hexed up. Will they really engage onto him? That's a very dangerous hero to go in on, especially if you ignore the Necrolite. They've stolen something. What is it? It's Breathe Fire. It's not ideal. Burning marches forward. Are they going to fight? He's got his ult. LGD, they retreat as a very tightly packed and wound 5-man squad.
I think it's very smart for them not to TP out of sight. Their T3 towers are under attack right now, but if they had TP'd out, I think that they would have just gotten picked up by Spectre. He would have haunted in, defused one, and then if this team decided to stay around and help them out, they would have just gotten RP'd, and it could have turned into a base push for DK there. So nice discipline by LGD, retreating as a ball, no one getting picked off, and retreating after that T3 tower was taken out.
I mean, of course, the big thing is that the towers did take some additional damage because of that. We see about 500 damage on the bottom tower. Top tower didn't take any damage, but they have to spend a lot of time push out. Again, it just goes back to the profit pick. This is the power of going for that hero. It is really paying off for them. It's buying so much time for Burning, and he's getting close to the next item. That's where Spectre becomes a real problem. He's got 3 KHP. If he can even just pick up a Talisman of Evasion here, against the Dragon Knight, I feel it could make a big difference. I mean,
I feel like a pipe would actually work out really well for him.
Well, I don't think Burning should buy that, though.
Yeah, that's true. But
maybe even a Blade Mail.
Butterfly doesn't really do too much for him. Dragon Knight doesn't do that much damage. He has like 180, and Spectre has really high armor anyways. He has 20 armor right now without any armor items.
That's true. All right, maybe not Butterfly, but an Abyssal Blade, a Pipe, or a Blade Mail.
Oh, Blade Mail would be pretty good, too.
If Necrolite tries to ult you and you pop your Blade Mail, it's going to be so sad. Sylar will probably cry himself to sleep if that happens.
They have 2 BKBs up right now, though. Nyx Assassin going for that casual VIP booster. That cost efficiency. 3 BKBs. 1 on Batrider, too. I almost forgot about it. So
yeah, he had that in the last fight, but now up to 3.6K.
He could go Lincolns, actually, but I think there are so many things to pop it, whether it be Lasso, Reaper, Force Staff, Dragon Tail.
I guess the big thing if you go Lincolns is Rubik can't instantly lift you, and Prophet can't instantly scythe you. They've got to use one spell and then the next, and that might buy you time to get off your Lasso.
Well, anyways, I'm just... Spectre, I think he's been playing very well, though. His item choice, I mean, he's only 1, 3, and 10, but still, we're feeling this Spectre. We're feeling the late game presence of him. But this next Roshan is going to be a very hot point of contest. If they have the Aegis cheese, I don't think that they're going to be able to survive one more base push, especially if they get off a Scepter or Reaper Scythe.
The one thing DK probably wishes they had is more farm on Super. At this point in the game, you would love to have a Refresher Orb on your Mag.
That would be huge.
And he's nowhere near his next item. I mean, 2.4K, but to get a real next item, he could get a Force Staff now, but he's got to save for buyback on the off chance he doesn't get Reaper Scythe.
So, Burning looks like he wants to push out the lanes right now. LGD is still huddling around Roach about 50 seconds until the respawn, and they're just not looking to make any mistakes right now. Dragon Knight is huge. He has heart, too. He is nigh impossible to kill. 3,200 HP with 38 armor, Shadow Blade, and BKB. Whew, it's going to be really difficult to kill him. I mean, sure.
Until he gets isolated by Desolate Illusions, and then he will drop in like 5 seconds flat. But yeah.
Pure damage. Need more pure damage.
That pure damage.
But again, a little bit of a passive game, just waiting for that Roshan advantage. They try to make push time and time again with the Aegises, but not able to secure a set of racks yet.
Yeah. Such a slow, deliberate game for both teams. A very different pace here. In game number 3, Burning.
Oh, BKB up on Spectre.
Farming, and he said, let's go. BKB Spectre.
I feel like it's a good idea. They don't have that much physical damage.
This blocks, and the Reaper Scythe damage is completely blocked by this, I believe, right? So that's the way that they kill him. And with the BKB, what are they going to do? It's very unusual.
They have so much stun lock, though. If he manages to pop it a bit late, but Burning usually doesn't make those sort of mistakes. But if they have Lasso into DK stun, into a Letrak Impale, into a Nyx Assassin Impale, or Letrak Split Earth, I mean, they have a lot of stun lock, but they always have RP to break it.
Compared to the items we suggested,
oh, here we go.
I think this is the best item. GDC is going to come in. I don't know if they know about this BKB. Familiars are on the front lines. Burning is going to be initiate opponent. Actually, it's DDC. He gets lifted up. Burning pops the BKB and starts going to work. RP catches 3. Super's done it. He skewers him back. Burning at full HP. Not even taking a tick of damage. He's being kited by Yao. He says, who's the biggest, baddest carry? That's right, I am. Who's your daddy? He goes on to Yao. The flame break is there, but RTK's arrived. This time it's a perfect Sprout. Finds the kill. Immediate buyback from the Necrolite. Shao 8 on the run. DDC 2. They beat a headlong retreat. The BKB paid for
great
itself
item
right
selection
there.
by Burning. I mean, this just shows his experience as a player. He is just I mean, his item choices and his farming is on. That really saved them. And if they get this Roshan because of it, that might just be GG. Burning, again, one of the top tier carries in the Eastern scene and proving it time and time again.
Oh, Chow 8 wants to contest this Roche, and they lift him up, they throw him back in,
ROTK.
dagger to fly, now ROTK, he's made a play on the backside, or maybe just gone into his own demise. Sylar gets purged, a blink skewer backwards, they're going to pick off Sylar. That's a big kill because he just fought back, there's no Sylar, and that could be the game. Buyback from ROTK, they're looking at Aegis, they're looking at Cheese, and with that, they might just be looking at a Dota 2 Super League Finals appearance, $165,000. They can taste it.
Big
they
plays
can
from
smell
Matt,
it.
though.
Can Xiao Wei make a play? He doesn't have Firefly. That's the problem here. Blink Dagger disabled. The Treants are hunting him. No mercy from RTK. Pops the BKB. Lasso's back super. It's desperation time for LGD. Bernie marches forward. BKB is up. Going to work on DDC. Purge and on the run. Now DD taking so much damage. He's low. Can he get out of this fight? RTK over the top. Finds one. He wants more. He could probably just kill Xiao 8 here. The Carapace, not enough. Yao comes in. They trickle in one by one, and one by one they fall. Back to the Roche pit for DK. Still no
They
neck
need
relay.
this Aegis and Roshan. It is so important to deny LGD it right now.
They have Blink. They have RP. The BKB for the Magnus is cooling down. Burning still has buyback. Of course, the Necrolite ult at the right moment could change that. But this is where Aegis comes into play.
Yep.
Even, and they give it to Burning. The right hero to give it to. Now, even if he does get Reaper's Scythe, he'll still have the Aegis. He'll still have 2 lives. And I feel that might just be the trump card in this game for DK. This is looking very good.
33 kills in 55 minutes, but this game has been really, really exciting.
Yeah, and this is why I love Chinese Dota. There are definitely not the boring periods, but the slow periods. But then it all comes in a rush, and it comes with excitement, it comes with intensity, and it comes with just some fantastic item selections and initiations. I mean, that fight, that Rubik lift, and having the familiars in the front to give them a little bit of extra vision, that made all the difference. It's like they knew LGD was coming, and they were completely prepared for it.
And there's so many BKBs up in this game. Magnus has one, Spectre has one. I think 3 or 4 heroes on the side of LGD. It's just everyone's yellow. Everyone's big and bad.
I think Burning's the biggest and baddest right now, man. It seems like if the game goes past 60 minutes, he usually is. Granted, he's usually playing a hard carry, but 4.5K up for him. There's not just nowhere. I don't know if there's anywhere for him to go. I mean, I guess you could replace your Diffusal Blade with a Radiance or something. I don't know, but Diffusal Blade gives you more damage, so he's pretty much done farming. Buyback, but saving for buyback doesn't help you. It's kind of awkward, to be honest.
Yeah,
against
Butterfly maybe. Again, he's kind of vulnerable to magic damage and Reaper. Reaper's the biggest thing he has to worry about. Aegis solves most of those problems though.
Yeah, they'll push in the bottom lane for the time being. Burning, cleaving through the creep wave.
Wait, who has a cheese? Oh, it looks like Nature's Prophet.
ROTK. Remember, he did use buyback earlier, so on the sidelines for 3 minutes. At the same time, they want to go while they have Aegis. They've got about 4 minutes on that. There will be like a 1-minute window where they have buyback on Prophet and the Aegis online. Will they wait for that window, or are they just going to go right now? 5K gold up on Burning. He could start to siege the base with his Manta Illusion. Spectre is not really the best hero to just quickly siege down a base. The Illusions just don't do that much damage to tower. I mean, they'll chip away at it. He hasn't gone for a great DPS build. It's much more of a tank build, so
wow.
If DK want to siege, I feel it is going to take a while.
Only one hero on LGD has buyback, though, and that is only the Bat Rider. Necrolite still down for 1 minute, 44 seconds. DK does not have enough gold. Nyx, not enough gold, and it's on cooldown, and Leshrac, not enough gold either. So if they make a push right now and kill any of the heroes but Bat Rider, it could be GG.
Bottom lane, RTK wants to win this one for his team. He's found Sylar. You just called it, Merlini. And now Sylar falls prey to desolate damage. He's caught. They throw an RP in. Why the hell not? Burning pops a BKB. Super goes to a very sad place. But Lasso stolen by Dai. Yao, the other carry. He'll go down in a mini celebratory Frost Dragon from him. The cheers go up for the DK fans because this might just be the end. Their two most important heroes on the sidelines. They've got a minute to do it. They have RTK with all the damage in the world, and I think DK are headed to the grand finals of the Dota 2 Super League. There is a glyph. LGD will fight on, but this just does not feel like a game they can come back from. They work on the tier 3. A 4-staff forward. Dai, he's lifted one up. He's thrown him back. Burning's driving them into the fountain, hurting them like cattle, and then killing them and butchering them and turning them into hamburgers. He's going to kill them off. He'll go back for the racks. This could be the end. DK, I think they've finally done it.
Yep, and again, I must applaud again the decision-making skills of Burning. He retained his composure. He didn't actually get Reaper Scythe Scepter, which is so important for them. He had that heart for that one clutch fight. He bought BKB just in time. I mean, Burning MVP for this series, at least for me.
At the same time, QQQ, or rather, Dai has made some huge support plays. Super's RPs have been on point. RTK definitely had his bad moments, but he had his good ones too later on in this game. And it was a team effort, but yeah, Burning has definitely been the standout. He's been the highest impact player.
It's not over yet, though.
Well, it might not be. Xiao 8 jumps in. He's caught Dai. Dai is still alive, though. He could even steal a lasso. He gets impaled. Burning is in the front lines, and he's got a Mjolnir buff on him. They can't really fight against this. They've got to run away. He's trying to lock onto a target here. He is trapped at the tier 4s. There's your RP. Now we'll have some heroes to clean up. They're skewered back. They are dropping fast. Burning is low. Xiao is going to kill him, but there's a buyback available. Excuse me, they're still in Aegis. He'll come right back. RTK falls, but has buyback now. I think if he wants it, 20 seconds to go. Actually, Burning forced to run away, but they've taken 2 racks. All they got to do
they have Reaper.
is get out of here safe. He's low. There's a Reaper. Maybe they can turn it around. He's not.
He doesn't die.
Is he going to go down?
Oh, my goodness.
No way. No way does this happen. 6 minutes on the sideline. He's actually bought back because he didn't die to the Reaper. He lived with 60 HP. That could have cost them the game. Instead, he's able to buy back. Yao gets staggered. Now he does need to be careful, though, because he doesn't have buyback again. He's bought a Talisman of Evasion. He's going for a Butterfly. Oh, man, that Reaper.
Wow, that was 60 HP. That was incredible.
I really think DK overstayed the welcome there, though. They should have just backed after taking 2 lanes of racks.
Well, ROTK also didn't pop his cheese. He had like 400 HP with the DK on him, and he just gets Dragon Tail to death. But
I wouldn't mind seeing a BKB on a Prophet at 60 minutes in, but that's another story for another day.
Not over yet, though. LGD still in this. I thought they were gone for sure once.
So if you're DK right now, you just play this ultra safe. Like, you could even just sit in your base and wait and just maybe get some wards up, wait for the next Roche, and then go for that. 2 lanes will be pushing in. I don't see any reason for them to take a fight before then, because they need Aegis to deal with the Reaper Scythe, and they need buybacks as well.
I mean, Magnus almost has Refresher, though. If they get an RP, then 2 RPs, could be GG too. But again, they don't really need to take that risk. If for some reason he gets disabled or he's out of position, it is slightly unnecessary.
QQQ is just pushing Super around like a ragdoll here, trying to delay his farm for some reason. It's been a long game for these players. It's been a long day, and I imagine fatigue may set in. This is where you've just got to summon those
from
extra
LGD.
reserves.
There is that illusion, though.
Oh, not really. They're gonna throw everything at the burning illusion again. I think they know it's an illusion, though. They're hunting for something else. It's a little too obvious, but well, he's wasting their time, and he's got his butterfly now. It doesn't help you against the Necrolite, but all that other damage
gives him a lot of damage.
A lot of it is yeah, it gives him a lot of damage, and a lot of that damage is coming from the Dragonite. I feel like he's probably, I would say, at least a quarter of the damage that brought Burning low in that fight was just auto attacks from the Dragonite. And now with Evasion, that'll help to deal with it. And there's a
Refresher is completed. That's big. I mean, it came a little bit late, 61 minutes in. I think he had a rather decent start, but it's so necessary. And he has a cheese too, so no mana issues for him.
Look at those creeps. Some easy gold.
So checking buyback status, there is only one hero in the game with buyback available, and that is the Nature's Prophet.
Well, RTK, he often doesn't like to use his buybacks very efficiently.
Oh, do they have a gem, though? I think this Nyx just ran by them.
Yeah, they do. QQQ is one. Top lane. There's a teleport in from RTK. He almost found Xiao 8 there. That would have been big. No buyback money, I think, and definitely no buyback cooldown. Actually, he's got the money. But
so
no.
I think a 2-hero RP would just pretty much seal the deal because he can just BKB, refresh BKB, and RP again. And again, no buybacks on anyone but Nature's Prophet. 5v3 could be GG there. So Super looking for whatever opportunity he can right now. But his smoke has worn off, and LGD is looking to get the jump.
We've hit the 63-minute mark.
DK is split up right now. This could be the opportunity they're looking for.
They're split up, but Burning can always haunt in. Xiaowei jumps in. He wants to go. He pops the BKB. He's found RTK. Remember, he can buy back unless he gets Reaper's Sight. Will Sylar blow it on him? He doesn't. The haunt comes in, and it's chaos everywhere. Burning pops his BKB. Now he's revealed. He'll back off and go for Yao. A lift back up. They throw him back in. It's the Desolate damage doing all the work. RP number 1. Refresher. Skewers him back in. Doesn't have the mana for 2. He's got a cheese. Actually, he used both there. Missed the first one completely in the chaos. Now Burning daggers south. He'll find DDC, and at long last, I think DK have done it. They've thoroughly beaten LGD. Oof. They've beaten them in short games. They've beaten them in long games. They've beaten them from behind. They've beaten them from ahead, and they are going to the inaugural season of the Dota 2 Super League's Grand Finals. They take down LGD 3-1.
What an absolutely insane game. I think that game could have gone to LGD's favor had that Reaper Scythe hit, but just a back and forth constant game from both teams. Oh my goodness.
Wow, this was some amazing Dota. I mean, I am hype as hell right now, and it's like friggin' 10 a.m. in the morning or something. Some ridiculous. I can see the sunlight streaming in. Whew. It's just getting dark now in China, but it's a very bright and happy day for DK.
Jeez, wow, my mind's still slightly blown from that mind-bogglingly, insanely awesome game.
Burning your soul. Burning your freaking soul, man. This guy knows how to carry. He said, I will teach you how to carry back before the G1 League.
Take lessons, players.
If you want to play carry, just go watch 20 Bernie replays. My goodness. What a performance from DK.
Insane. I mean, they dropped they dropped the first game too, so their morale was a little bit low, and they just like, boom, Burning's like, okay, I got to turn up the heat. Just,
I feel that game where they gave away the anti-mage was the big mistake. Like,
yeah,
because that was just like a gimme.
That was
game.
Utter domination.
Like this game, I wouldn't say LGD really made any big mistakes. I mean, obviously they got picked off at times. That one, they had some engagements where they overextended, but I felt like the draft was solid. The strategy was solid. I even liked the idea behind the Reaper's Scythe pickup. Necrolite versus Spectre makes sense. We talked a lot about that during the draft and the pre-game phase, but I think the biggest problem for me wasn't actually this game from LGD. It was the game where they gave away Shadow Demon and Anti-Mage to Burning and his team.
Yeah, that was not a good draft by LGD. Let's just put it that way.
Well, unfortunately, they're going to have to ruminate on it because they are out of the Dota 2 Super League's Grand Finals. They will drop down to your 3rd, 4th place decider match. That will happen in 2 days' time, but tomorrow we have Orange versus Tongfu. The winner of that match is going to be joining DK in the Grand Finals. And it'll happen tomorrow, Merlini. Any closing thoughts on today's match?
I've been turned into a Burning fan. That was just great play by him.
I've converted you.
I know, it was, I mean, after watching Mushi.
You're Chinese. I shouldn't have to work that hard.
I was like, oh man,
like
Mushi was pretty impressive. And then he just like 10,000 gold in the bank. Like, what do I do? I don't know.
It's just, as a Mushi, fantastic mechanical player. But, I mean, you really see the difference between someone who knows how to farm and someone who knows how to carry.
Yeah.
Bernie knows how to carry.
That is damn straight. Oh my goodness.
Well, with that being said, guys, that's going to conclude today's Dota 2 Super League coverage. We'll have some shots of the players at the venue. I'm sure they'll be celebrating. They'll probably have some post-game interviews if you speak Chinese. But for now, it's going to be LD and Merlini signing off from Beyond the Summit. Shout out to Kawa for staying up with us through it all, as well as George for doing the stats. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow at the same time, the same place, for the second semifinal between Orange versus Tongfu. It'll be a best of 5. Also, Gods is casting the GEST Dota 2 right now with Lysander over on the main Beyond the Summit stream if you want to check that out. Congratulations to Team DK. They're going back to a LAN finals. It's been a while for them. Burning, he leads the troops. He marshals them forward in style. And on that note, we're signing off.